Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. I have been listening to Big Finish, and I found it quite a pleasant experience, which I used to find universally pleasant experiences listening to Big Finish. Not as universally as it used to be, but this one is pretty darn good. In fact, I have to say it's a pretty strong recommend. It's at least a recommend. It's a strong recommend. I'll let you know as I go through the review. Before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'd be really, really nice. And that's even if you really dislike this video or me personally, right? Can you hit the like button? I don't care if you lie. Okay, honestly, I don't care. Can you hit the share button? I don't care if you share me. In fact, I do care if you share me because I like you to do it. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. You know you want to, baby. You know you want it. It'll make you feel better. I think it will. I think it probably will. Give it a go. Like, share, subscribe, either here on Rumble or both. You want to go crazy? Do it on both. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Sign up to my Substack so you keep abreast of everything that's going on in the Tzvi Lebetkin world, which, you just have to watch my videos as well. I don't normally hold back. Okay, I'll only let you know what I'm thinking about. Pretty much anything. Like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack, pay Substack. All those things are fantastic. All those things are fan-dabby, double dozy. Fine. Let's get into this review. Where is it? Here. Doink. Big Finish, Blood of the Time Lord. So there's a lot to talk about with this release. The least interesting thing about it is perhaps the most famous thing about it. It's somewhat controversial, right? This is somewhat of a controversial release because it features James Dreyfus as a pre-Delgado master, right? Now, why is this controversial? Because the LGBTQ Alliance, QA Plus Alliance, isn't quite as strongly aligned as some people would like them to be. They have James Dreyfus is a gay gentleman who said something. I'm not even sure what. They're saying that that people who campaign strongly about trans rights didn't like at all. And I don't even know what he said. I remember hearing it at the time and go, well, that's completely innocuous. So, it's the same as Gareth Roberts. But he was cancelled beyond cancelled from the BBC and many other places as well. And I think Big Finish basically have to do what the BBC says, right? And so they were not allowed to release this at the time. This was recorded in, I think, 2017. He says in the making of, this is the first one he recorded, but he hasn't been back as a master at any time. Even when they had a multi-master story, and they didn't bring him back for that, which I thought was a bit stupid, because he's cancelled. He's cancelled beyond cancelled, and I'm not sure if it's from Big Finish or on BBC. He can't be that cancelled from either of them anymore, because finally they've released this one. And he's pretty good. Is there any need for another master? I think not, right? It's Tom Baker has had a few stories with the Jeffrey Beavers master, the burnt up, desiccated master, and I think he works quite well against Tom Baker's Doctor Who. It doesn't. There just seems to be there's a lot of masters out there. You don't need to bring a new one in. James Dreyfus' portrayal was okay, but not the most important thing in the universe. Much more interesting for me is when this is set, which is directly after Deadly Assassin, which I didn't realize, right? So that's why he's in his floppy shirt, not his normal outfit, because this is a set directly after that. It doesn't feel that it was set directly after that. This feels much more like I would say a season 16, like a Key to Time story. It's not obviously not looking for Key to Time, but it's got that kind of like vibe to it. But what it does do, and I think it does this very well, it explores Time Lord and Gallifreyan society, continuing what they started in Deadly Assassin. And I think they did it in a much smarter way, much more interesting way, and a much more successful way than they did with Invasion of Time. So this is a real good addition to Doctor Who canon in my mind. It's a really interesting one. It takes place on one of the moons of Gallifrey, where there is a there's a kind of like how would you go? Like there's like a old age home. The best way to describe it. Where do very old timers go before they die? To here, they go to this place. This was it called the requisitory or something along those lines, where they can finish off their research. It's like a massive giant library, and you have these weird like non-Gallifreyan servitors which you see on the front cover here, which are quite creepy and make for good monsters. Just the whole thing in general, it shows you a new side of Time Lord society, which I found as different and interesting as the Deadly Assassin's Tale. Let's look at read the blurb about it. The book known as the Discord Grimoire is an incredibly powerful tome, being capable of altering the true passage of time itself. So again, that ties quite nicely into Sharda as well. Sharda would also have been an interesting look at Time Lord society. And the Doctor has it in the TARDIS. Basically, this is taking place shortly after Deadly Assassin, so there's no companion in the TARDIS, and he's talking to himself a lot, which he likes a lot. He likes it a lot, talking to himself, and he finds this book, says, "Oh, we better get it back to where it's supposed to go." Wanting to look into the mysterious opus further, he decides to take it to an old friend in the reclusatory monastery-like retreat on a moon on Gallifrey. The reason I didn't go for monastery straight away, because there's men and women there, so it didn't seem monastic to me. But again, really interesting. But he's chosen an inauspicious time to arrive. Something else is visiting the reclusory. Something that hasn't brought a book with it, but death. So this has been released as part of the Fourth Doctor Adventures Series 11. Part 1. You can buy them individually, or you can. I haven't listed the second part yet, so I don't know if I can recommend the first two parts, but I recommend this part a lot. There's one character in it, again, a clever use of Doctor Who history, right? There's a character in it. Who is it? The Ancelon? Yeah, is it Ancelon? I think it was Ancelon. Essentially, it was the Tibetan monk, the hermit that John Pertwee Doctor knew. As a later stage in life, and he's in charge of this like monastic. This I will say this. What's the word I'm looking for? This gender fluid monastic cult. But there's a real interesting mystery at the heart of it, with some real spooky stuff going on there. There's a scene there where one of the people working there has to climb up a ladder in a library, and they keep climbing, and then then gravity shifts, and they're now at the top instead of the bottom, and lots of fun, interesting stuff like that. Tom Baker's Doctor finds himself in trouble straight away, and the episode 1 cliffhanger I found to be excellent, right? Really, really excellent. This is, I think, the best thing that Timothy X Attack has done. And for me, this makes him a writer that I take note of, right? A writer that I would want to go back to and see some more of, right? Let's see what else he's done. If you click over here, he should give us his other things. So yeah, I don't remember the Pacific stories he did, but this was a good box set. Warbringer, Responsible Calls was a bit mediocre. He did Record of the World. Record of the World was quite good as well. That $10.99 seems expensive for that, right? Because I think when something's a year old, they should really just put it on a streaming service, quite frankly. $12.99. I recommend $12.99 for this story, right? I do. It's worth it. It's totally worth it. It was recorded a long time ago. What's it? Yeah, it's got the date of being recorded. It's 2017. Blimey, different universe. 2017. Before, I think the era of true insanity had really kicked in. People were still. When is 2017? Do I have it in May? People had started to calm down after the 2016 election before they started to get worked up again. We hadn't really got into the cycle of insanity that we're in now, which I think has just destroyed culture, right? But this story was written before then, so it was great. Fantastic cast. There was Annette Badlands in it. Adrian Lucas as the future generation of, what's her name again? Canuck Poe. He's excellent in it. James Dreyfus is good as a master, but it just seems weird. This feels like he's been kind of shoehorned into this era, and we're never seeing him again now, which is really kind of frustrating, right? They put him in a bunch of releases, and now we're never gonna get any more things, because I don't think they like him very much, from what I can tell, and I don't think he likes them very much. So we're not gonna hear more of that master. It seems to be, if you're really that mad at this guy and you want to cancel him, why not just re-record his roles and insert a new actor in, or just get Jeffrey Beavers to do it, right? And that was my overwhelming thought. Jeffrey Beavers should have been more on doing it. It would have made a lot more sense. But in general, interesting story, interesting take on Time Lord Society. Good monsters, scary and different, right? A different take on something familiar, taking a new look on something familiar. Really worked. I think who directed it? I think Nick Briggs directed it. And you can tell. Yeah, Nick Briggs directed it, and you can very much tell. Recommend, right? What do I give this out of 10? I'll give this one a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. It's not vital listening, but it's good Doctor Who. Basically what it is, it's good Tom Baker Doctor Who. So I'm happy to recommend it to you. Go check it out!